Deftones, Cherry Waves, Guitar Tabs, and Guitar Lesson. I'll play through all the different sections at the start here. Afterwards, I'll go back through and explain everything I'm doing. Before we jump into the lesson, please hit that subscription button. It gives me a really clear signal that you want me to do some more of these types of videos. And with no further wait, let's get on into this. Okay, so for starters with the tuning, even though it's pretty likely that Stephen Carpenter is using a 7-string or an 8-string or whatever, Chino might be doing his drop C, we can actually do everything we need to do in this song just in a drop D tuning. All right, so we just got the D, A, D, G, B, E. So pretty straightforward with this. And these initial parts, there's kind of 3 different layers going on. There's a keyboard layer and then 2 different guitar layers. The initial keyboard part is just a 3-note thing, and we'll be here at 5 on the B, hold that all the way to about the second measure end of that, and then we jump to a 7 on the high E, and then to a 6 on the B. All right, and the first guitar, it's doing this faint little alternating thing in the background. And we're just going between 2 notes initially with the 7 on the E and the 5 on the B. All right. It just hangs through that through a couple of measures, and then it just changes the 5B to a 6 and goes through that for a couple of measures. And the third guitar, it's just kind of real loose and floaty, kind of doing a similar thing in that same area. We'll just hit like 5 on the B, hold it into the next measure, do it again, and then come up, hit a 6G, and then just before it's at the end of the final measure, it just comes down and does 4 strums on the 8 of the B. Okay, and it just kind of bounces around with that, and it's like real loose, not super locked in. All right, pre-chorus section. Real straightforward. It's just 1 power chord, an open A power chord, and we're just strumming it 8th note style all the way through, and then just before we're done with it, we just do a couple dead string strums there. So just all right, all the way till the end. Chorus gets going, and we can throw in this big a D power chord now. So we can hit the open low D and then a 5A with the 7 on the D and the G there. And we just strum through that 8th note style. And pretty straightforward. The first, runs through here. And then we just drop to a B power chord at 2A with the 4 on the D and G. And overall, this is kind of like a B minor that's happening here. All right, we just go back to the D to the B 3 times, and at the end of the first chorus, we kind of get a little hint of things to come. So it's like the same D power chord, but we just do the 4 counts and then a couple into the next measure, and we hit this power chord here. It's a G flat at the 4s, the low D and the A there. It's just a little pickup into the final thing for a B, and we just hit that B and let it ring at the end of the first chorus. Get some more keyboard parts at the interlude here, and it just comes up and does a quick 9, 10, 9 on the E, holds it, and then we just hit 10B, 10G. All right, once the second chorus gets going, we go through it pretty straight, just as in the first one, but then the second half of it now, we're going to add in some more of those little transitional chords, which, we hang with our D power chord, but then we do that transitional G flat at the 4s to the Bs, and once we hit these Bs, we just keep going with the Bs all the way till the last one, and then we just do a quick little open A, and then we get back to our D, then to the 4, 2s, open. So just a little transitional chords at the end of it once we get to the second half of the second chorus there. Bridge section, pretty straightforward here. Now we get to really make use of this drop D tuning. Come down to the 2s here for a E power chord. It's just a 1, 1, 2. Opens to 3s for the F. And once we hit this F, we kind of hit it, and then we can strum through a little bit and hit some of these like open B and G strings with it. And then just back off to a quick open D and just repeat that E. And we wrap up the whole bridge section by just doing this build up now with an E chord, just a straight up full E chord. Then we add the sus4 with the 10 on the B. So we got the 7A with the 9s, D and G, 10B. And we just strum this out. And then just lift off the B for the 10 to the 9 there. And we just strum out the straight up E.